Hello everyone. I'm just settling in. Sorry, I don't want to cause shadows or anything there. I don't have a lot of control over being able to scan in or not. So what you see is as good as it gets, and it's also in reverse to me too, which I know is not the case. Anyway, this is the just a live drawing of using the November Reds Art Cart contents, which is a pastel month. So we've got the Secure Novell pastels. We've got two of the Faber-Castell Pitt pastel pencils. We do not have either of that or that. That was for my drawing. These soft pastel knives with these tips on, which I'm just going to leave as is. Did forget to get newspaper to put underneath. Can't do anything about that now. All right, so, and the kneadable eraser as well. So what I'm doing for this tutorial is a vase, and we'll probably put some flowers in it as well. So I've just taken this off the internet. I think it was from IKEA actually. It's a very nice vase, which isn't all completely, what is it, geometrical, I think. So I have printed this off purely for where the light bounces and everything, so I can get that correct. So I shall start straight away, because I know with last week's one I babbled on a little bit too much. The paper as well, actually, here I go, I'm starting to babble straight away. The paper is just a sample sheet of this one here, which is the Fabriano Tizzano paper, 160 GSM, and I'm using a piece of the blue with this very nice speckle through it, which I hope you can see that little speck all running through it. All right, so let's get started. Now, there might be a little bit of camera shake. That's because I am actually rubbing. And I do have here as well a wet cloth, so that I can wipe my hands if I have to as well. So we will get started. I've chosen to go with a blue vase with a green background and a white and yellow flower. All right, and I think I might even have to snap one of my pastels today, which I don't want to do, but may have to. All right. So as I do this, I'll just quickly explain the Red Art Cart is a monthly subscription box. Comes out at the beginning of every month, and no one knows what's in that box except for myself, of course, and my art supplies. And this one is the November, the November 18 cart. First time I've ever actually done a pastel month with the cart, which has been going for 18 months now. With these soft pastels, it's very much about layering. So the layer that I'm putting down now is just a first layer, and I will go over it again, just depending on how I feel it's also sitting as well. And you can still see my reference photo in there. So I'm going to avoid that area there because that is to be quite dark. And I'll be able to get 3 colours out of 2 of the blue pastels. Might need a bit of white as well. I will keep looking up as well at the monitor, which is roughly about a metre from me. When I did the Facebook Live last week, it actually froze at around the 24-minute mark. I'm not sure as to why, so I might even just wiggle the mouse every now and again as well. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure if you can see, but there is the pastel dust sitting there. You don't want to blow that away. You actually want to use your finger and rub that in. So I'll just put in a bit of the dark blue now as well. Yes, it looks very scribbly. That's how it's meant to be with this soft pastel. Actually, I'm just going to add a bit more across there. You can see what I mean by I've also already created a third colour because I'm going over the top of that light blue with this dark blue, and now it's just going straight onto the paper again. It's a lot darker. Try and keep your pastel dust inside your drawing where you're about to push it into the paper. Okay, just have a little bit of go over there too. I can definitely keep working with this afterwards though. First layer. So last week on the Facebook Live, I did a pear. Didn't need a reference for the pear because that's my go-to when I'm doing any kind of drawing. The vase is actually not too far behind it. I guess it's because they're really good for shading. Okay, just make sure my hand is nice and clean. So I'm going to start putting this first layer in. Now use the pastel knife around there. And the other thing I want to do is use 2 fingers for the 2 different blues. I want to keep my index finger fairly light in pastel. Okay, so I'll swap to that one now. It's hard for me to see if anyone is actually joining. Sorry, I was just reading a little box on the screen there. Okay, so if you do type a little message or anything in, excuse me if I don't see it straight away. I don't want to look up to the monitor too much. Otherwise we'll be here all afternoon. I've got to go and pick the kids up at 3. Now with that finger with the dark blue on it, I am pushing it into those light blue areas because I do want it to blend in, which it is doing. Okay, that's not a bad first part, and then I'll pick up this one. I think it's that dark blue on it anyway, from my background with my pear last week. So it's good to use these pastel knives for areas where your finger is obviously going to be too fat. And I'll use, this one's not ideal, but I don't have 2 knives the same shape as this one so that I can put a new little foamy on there. That's fine, this is working fine. Okay, so that's first layer down. Really only going to have 2 layers. I'll just go over it again now and just define those shadow areas. I'll introduce a bit of white soon too, so definitely want have those darks. I don't want this to be really, really detailed and lifelike. I do still want it to have a little bit of scratchiness to it, a little bit of texture. So there's some areas that I might not blend in as much as I should. And I actually don't mind seeing a bit of that paper coming through either. Okay, this is a bit of a area that needs a bit of work. I so desperately want to blow all this away, but I shall not. Push it in rather. I was trying to blow that back on there. Of course that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, that's there. Go back to that one there. Now, when I do the background, I probably will come back into the vase and just tweak it a bit as well. Now, I'll introduce a little bit of white. As well. And new finger. And I'm just going to have to use this with the light blue on it because I don't have any other knives for it, but that's fine. Everyone only got 2. And I shall now use this is the Faber-Castell pencil. Everyone received 2 of these. And it's really just going to help with those defining some of the lines. Obviously, I can't speed this up and get through the boring bits, so you just have to bear with me. Try not to be too detailed, even though that is my thing. I do get too detailed. Pastel's so messy, it's just going everywhere. Okay, I feel like I'm starting to try and be too detailed with it. So I'm going to try and move on. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the background colour. Just wipe that blue off my fingers. I can come back to this, as I said, and it doesn't matter that there's blue in the background either. So I will tip this all into the centre there and then put that straight back down on top of it. Now, as you can see, there is pastel dust around here. This is what you can use your kneadable eraser for. Not that I have to, because I'm going to be putting the green down over the top, but that's just demonstrating what the kneadable eraser is for, just being able to pick that off. All right, let's start on this background. Now, I'm going to take a big deep breath because I'm actually going to snap this pastel, not in half, kind of into 2/3. Oh, God. I hate doing things like that. It's just not in my nature to break a pastel. but I had to because I need a small area to do this background. If I try to do it with the full stick, I don't get enough weight distribution in the chalk. I hope that's not too loud sound-wise for you. I'm not going to go right out to the side either. I'm going to just create a bit of a border so that you can still see that lovely blue speckled paper. It looks quite subtle. It is quite subtle. Just give my mouse a wiggle so that the monitor still knows I'm here. Been going for 16 minutes now. Now I'm actually wondering whether I'm going to blend that in or leave it as is. I kind of like that. I just need that shadow, that's all. And the shadow might need to be blended. So I'll put the shadow down and then we'll see if I've got a blend in or not. Kind of hoping that I don't have to. Oh my goodness, am I going to have to now do the same with this? I don't want to. Okay, so obviously my shadow area is going to be here. Yeah, if I do that, it's not going to work. Okay. Oh, I can't believe I'm breaking another one. Ooh. Tingle went up my spine then. It's probably why I don't enjoy pastels. They do break. They're dusty. They're just not clean. And as much as I don't claim to be a clean person, I kind of am when it comes to my art supplies. Okay, I think even though I don't want to, I am going to have to blend this a bit because it just doesn't look finished. So bear with me because I need to go over the top with the flowers so I can't come back to it. Yeah, that's actually helped. I don't think I'll put in a second layer though. I might have to come around. Now this will be interesting. I'll just try and remove a bit of that blue, excess blue. I don't want to ruin this little foam pad either. There we go. Those. Okay, and as I get into this section, I'll go into the second finger. And pretty handy to use this little pastel knife, just for those little edges that do need that little bit of detail and Mrs. Red. It will always sneak in. I have never been able to do an abstract and save myself. If I can put detail into something, it will find its way in. And it's kind of good that I have to do this. I'm a bit forced to not take too much time to do this. I'm going to stay with the dark finger because I just want it to be able to blend in nicely with that, and I just need to sharpen these edges a bit. Come in with the knife again. So I don't want my shadow to disturb the artwork, the light on it. Okay, and I just need to fix up around the back of the vase here as well. And then I'll just do another, get rid of the extra dust. You can probably see it, it's all around the edges at the moment. I'll do that now because then I need to just review these. There. It'll all just fall onto the back of the paper. That's fine. That way it's secure. Okay, so just wipe my fingers again. There's so much I want to just do in detail on this, and I'm just not going to. I need to move on with it. All right, let's chuck in some flowers. I really just want to attack that area there. Oh, hang on, I can't help it. I need to just... And now I can feel pastel dust underneath. Just wipe away. Okay. All right, so last week